Okay. I'm going to call the meeting to order. This is the City of Twinsburg Architectural Review Board on March 16th, 2023. It is 6 p.m. and we'll start with the roll call of all members. Ms. Waits?
What do I say?
You call our names.
Oh, okay. Jennifer Frazier?
Here?
David Markovitz?
Here.
John Midlick?
Here.
Viraj Sharma?
Here.
Karen Levy?
Okay. First on the agenda is public participation. This is the point in the meeting where anyone can speak who does not have a case. Is there anyone here tonight who would like to speak? Okay, you can approach.
Good evening, board. I believe I know all of you. I'm the mayor of the city of Twinsburg. I'm Sam Scafidi. The reason I came here tonight is I just wanted to, I've been trying to, since I've been in office, get to all the boards and commissions, just to reintroduce myself to everybody and just to say hello and just reach out to the whole board. And if there's any questions or concerns, you know, feel free to get in touch with me in the office. The other thing is I'm going to be sharing, I'll be back at another meeting, but I want to share what my vision is for the city of Twinsburg. And, you know, I see some things that are taking place that are really not part of my vision, and I'm hoping that once I do share that vision that we can all come to some kind of agreement and maybe move forward from that point on. Just a quick example is some of the sign programs that we have at the plazas in the city. They don't really match what I'm visioning, what I'd like to do, and I'm looking to make a lot of those changes as far as clean up the community and the welcome signs and, you know, just those sign plazas and all that kind of stuff. So I do want to share that with the boards and see what the thought is of the board, and again, just to come to a happy medium where we could all work together. So I will be back at another meeting. And again, that's all I have. If anybody had any questions for me while I'm here, I'm happy to answer them. Go ahead, Jen.
Would you be providing like legislative guidelines for design, or would you be providing examples, like imagery examples?
What I'm more looking to do possibly is a booklet, like a plan booklet. Like here's what we're trying to do, and what the board's responsibilities are, and what the building department responsibilities are, and the city, and see where we can, you know, meet in the middle of all that. You know, it's similar to like an employee handbook, and I'm looking to, I think that a lot of the boards and commissions are just, they're operating, but, you know, they're operating under, everybody's kind of operating under a different rule, or under a different opinion. And so I'd like to create this handbook so everybody's aware of what the handbook says, and here's your guidelines, and here's where we'd like to go. And, you know, if we're going to go off of that, you know, I understand this board especially has the right to grant variances, and there's been some variances granted that I guess I don't necessarily agree with. But that doesn't mean that I'm wrong and I'm right and you're wrong. It just means that maybe we don't agree. But I'd like to, at least we know where each one's coming from. So that's what it's going to be.
Sounds good.
It won't be legislation, though. It will not be in the form of legislation.
There are some neighboring communities that have design standard handbooks that go with their boards. I believe Chagrin Falls and Hudson both do. It's not uncommon.
Yeah.
We don't really have one. We just have individual opinions of the board members.
Exactly. Which has so far has led Twinsburg to where it is today, which is not a bad place. Yeah. But I just have a little bit of a different vision, so I'd like to share that with everybody.
Well, I look forward to hearing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank
So thank you all for your service. I appreciate what each and every one of you do. I know it takes time out of your day, and we do appreciate you being on our boards and commissions. Okay, thanks much.
Thank you.
All right.
Is there anyone else here tonight that is not on the agenda? Okay, then we will begin with the first case. That is case 230308, which is at 8934 Darrow Road. It is Techie, Ohio signage.
You got the trifecta now. Is this your third time?
Hi, my name is Kristen. I work for Fast Signs of Twinsburg, and I am here for Techie, Ohio tonight.
So we see that it is internally illuminated. It will illuminate white and blue, I assume?
Yes.
Okay. And you have 5-inch returns, and those are black, like the outline?
Yes.
Okay. The words repair, install, and protect, those are not illuminated?
No.
And do they also protrude out 5 inches?
No, they're only half-inch thick acrylic.
So those are thin, are they individually mounted letters?
Yes.
Will the sign panel be repaired and painted as needed before the sign goes up?
Yes.
And will it fit within the border of the panel? On the rendering, it shows that the H is sticking up just a little bit, but it should fit, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Does anyone have any other comments or questions?
You asked my question,
I'm sorry.
but I'm okay with that.
My only question is, even though it fits right to the edge, or is it right to the edge of the panel, inset panel area? Because to me, hitting that edge doesn't really look that good. It should be a little bit smaller.
The customer wanted it as large as we could make it, so we did fit it in between those two edges.
Okay.
Has the sign been fabricated?
No.
Would you want an inch top and bottom?
Well, probably with the 5-inch, it might have to go 2 or 3 inches.
2 or 3?
Yeah, because it,
Yeah, signage on that plaza does have a few inches.
I mean, I don't think any of the other signs out there fit right to the top and bottom edge anyway.
I'd be okay with adding a small margin to the top and bottom of that sign. 2 inches top and bottom,
Yeah,
for a total of 4?
Total.
Right, okay.
at least something so it's not touching. But,
Looks uniform compared to other signs, centered.
you know,
Yes. What?
I can make a motion with 2 amendments, 2 inches top and bottom border sign. Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we'll call for a vote. You start with the person who made the motion, then the person who seconded it.
Okay. Mr. Sharma?
Yes.
Mr. Midlick?
Yes.
Mr. Markovitz?
yes.
Ms. Frazier?
Yes. Okay, thank you. You've been approved with that margin.
Thank you.
Okay. Our next case is our second case. It's case number 230309. It is at 10539 Ravenna Road, Vassar, a new home build.
Good evening. Thank you for letting me come. This is a bit short notice that I'm here. I'm glad you do have plans. I'm Ed Sutliff. I'm the designer. And I'll be here to gladly answer any questions that you might have.
Sorry about all the noise.
It's a beautiful house.
Yeah, sorry,
I
large
think.
drawings that are folded end up a little crinkly on the microphone.
I throw reams of paper every day. Yeah.
Is this going to the place where we had the old house tear down?
Yes. This is right on Ravenna Road, across the street from, I believe, Presidential Parkway.
Yeah.
And these were also the samples that were provided.
Oh.
For materials.
do
So
they-
materials.
They need to be passed?
Can
do
you
you have-
state them for the record, please, which colors you're going with?
I have no idea what they picked. I know that they're looking at grays and blues, but I didn't select the colors they did. It appears that I know that it looks like they're going with a beige. I don't know, but I know that they wanted to have something that was appealing in the community, but wasn't next door. So I honestly don't know.
Okay.
But,
A lot of times people bring in that sample, but then they point which of the colors on the bottom they're going
What I
with.
can do is tell you
Yeah.
that it's going to be the blue one.
Which is which color? I mean, what's the
This
designation?
blue one in the corner.
The siding would be blue color?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking they're probably going to be.
What's the name of the color,
I'm sorry?
The name of the color? They have a
It's
name up
called
there on it?
Harbor Blue,
Okay.
So Harbor Blue vinyl siding,
and probably with a white trim.
white trim.
It's going to be, it's a beautiful house.
You have a header or a belt board going across the front. Is that white?
I don't, it's been a while since I've seen.
Seen these ones? Okay. Yeah, there's a,
Yeah, it's a decorative band that runs across. I think it's very stunning.
okay.
It
And
just kinda breaks
that'll
it
be a
up.
flat vinyl?
Probably coil stock.
Coil stock vinyl, okay.
No, coil stock.
A coil stock.
Yeah, no, it's aluminum.
It's just aluminum
It
flat.
comes in 250 colors. It's an aluminum piece that's, it's just a decorative color. It's just a nice piece. And probably this piece up across the top will match because it's going to be a double band. So it just kind of brings some, it's a little bit of life to the house across the watch.
What color the shingles?
Right? They're just, are these something we're not supposed to
I
take
could-
with anything?
The builder is the one that dropped that off, Mr. Byler. He didn't say anything.
Well, the Bastards live here, and for me, it's an hour and a half drive to see anybody.
Well, I mean, we'll see them,
That's fine.
so I can always make sure that it gets back to them.
The trim around the door is a little thin compared with the windows. Usually trim around a door is larger than window trim, especially if you're including things like that header.
I'm gonna have to see it again. 'Cause I just don't- The,
It looks like you only have about 2-inch trim
It's
around the
about-
door
it's
where
a
you have a 3.5 around the
it's a
windows.
3-inch trim around the windows and doors. That band
Okay.
is a 6-inch band.
Right, just around the door it was drawn smaller than the windows.
So it will match the window.
It would match the windows. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah.
So the columns on the porch, I mean, they drew it like it's like a natural wood look to me.
It's gonna be a dark wood, it won't be wood. I think they're gonna flat them with, kind of could be a coil stock again. It's up to the homeowner to kind of
Yeah.
decide that a little bit. It's gonna be a dark color, I think it's gonna be like a chocolate brown.
Yeah, I just noticed that they showed the wood grain, which
Well,
made me think that.
it's gonna have a texture of some sort to it.
Okay.
I recommend, like Pacific Columns, they do some great work in Conneaut, so
Yeah.
I get some sell Ohio products.
Right, yeah.
But,
But they have faux products that look just as good sometimes, and they're practical, because it never rot.
yeah, it's not gonna be like an AZAC or anything, it's gonna be some contrast.
Okay.
It just offers a little bit of,
Yeah, most of the time they're sleeves.
If this isn't like a natural cedar look, does it have a capital and a base to it?
no, it's very.
It's just going straight to the ground? Okay.
Yeah, it's a very clean look. They want something that's.
Very straight line, streamlined,
Yeah, they
modern.
want something that's simple, but clean lines and stately, and it's not in conflict with anything in the area.
Right.
So it's.
And also,
They are structural.
Hmm?
They are structural, they are supporting, or they just
They
sitting?
will be, yes. Yeah, and there's a header there that's underneath, and that's gonna be wrapped. That's part of the band.
I like the way it looks.
I'm glad that there are windows balanced on all the elevations.
Thank you for noticing.
There's-
I work hard to do that.
There is a garage man door, which we've been placing on all the
No,
newer
that's
homes.
required by code.
There's been discussion about that, whether it's required by code.
I guess it is.
But we've been requiring them on all of the new homes for the last 10 years or more, so.
Glad you are, because it's safe.
Yeah, you lock your garage.
The only reason I can figure out that they have them, is in case your car won't shut off and you power goes out, you can't open your garage.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's what that's what one of the arguments is. And I noticed you have an egress window from your basement, which is another thing we've been
Absolutely.
recommending, although it's not required by law unless somebody sleeps in the basement.
No, not typical. I've been doing this for 50 years. I like what I do. I get to help a lot of people. And I think this becomes the community.
You've
One
been
thing
here-
that,
yeah.
one thing that would have been really helpful to have when approving plans is an actual floor plan of the house.
I sent it along. I don't know why it's not here. But it's,
Okay.
well, here, we can talk about it. The center entrance to the left is the dining room. To the right are 2 bedrooms with a Jack and Jill bath. Well, it's on the hall, that's shared. Then the master bedroom is, you'll see the back corner, and then they call the living room. And the ceilings are all in the living room, so that they come down and touch the fireplace. And then the bedroom juts up. The porch is a wraparound. It goes back around half the distance. And it is, she wants to swing on that porch, on that wraparound. Originally, they planned to have it be a little narrower. I encouraged them to make it wider. That brings the roof absolutely perfectly straight line, so it isn't set back. That makes that garage peak of interest, but it isn't, it's not broken up.
Right, and the garage does not protrude, from what I can tell from the site plan, that the garage does not protrude greatly in front of the house. It's only 4 feet,
Yeah,
and there's a porch just behind that, so
yeah, you can see what the porch is kicking around.
it's not a big
And then
garage
the-
house.
Oh, yeah, you've got that, site plan, that rear porch, the back corner there is the master, and they're gonna have a door that walks out onto it.
On this
That rear
back porch, is that the slider?
Yeah, right here. Where does-
Is it on, sorry, another page?
Yeah, here, no, look at the site plan. It's right. They're gonna have a door onto the bedroom.
Is that on the elevations yet? I see a slider door,
Yeah.
a front door. I believe that's the garage
That's-
man door.
Yeah. Oh,
And then, yeah, we're missing the door to the porch.
hang on.
Unless it's somehow obscured.
We're looking at
Probably the right
the
elevation.
left. Well, it's on the floor plan.
Ms. Waits,
Yeah.
do we have the floor plan?
Let me go see if I can grab it.
I'm sorry to be such a nuisance to you.
No, that should have been distributed.
Yeah, it's just short notes from it, so. And I haven't looked at it since October. So it's been.
Well, while we're sitting here, can we, if we don't know exactly some of the colors, can we still?
I don't think we can actually approve it unless, we can approve it with a set of colors, and if they choose to change the colors, they have to come back.
That's fine. So I'll tell them they're doing blue.
Well, there's 50 shades of blue. So we have
Well,
Well, he's choosing them
This-
as their representative. If they choose to change their colors, they have to come back.
I'm not even sure what the color of the roof is.
I know, just.
Is it
just
driftwood
saying
gray?
there's so many
That's what all the
shades of
Pulte
red
houses
that-
have.
I mean, just asphalt shingles, but like no
Right.
color.
Okay, pick one. I'd say it's sharp.
Or it's-
No, I just,
I don't think,
I don't think blue and gray are offensive.
If the plan's coming soon, there, I think we can keep
I know the contractor will be glad to see you. He's just,
Oh, I also noted that this is concrete exposed. It shows on here exposed concrete to grade. Usually, we have a brick to grade or a stone to grade on most of our newer homes.
I wasn't aware of that.
We do see some concrete to grade occasionally, but it's in some of the smaller older homes when they do
I'm sure
additions
that
to
they'll
match.
probably do some kind of brick stamping on
We haven't seen brick stain.
Well,
that I can recall. So then you'd have to do a,
It's in the form.
so this is a cast in place concrete
Yeah.
basement.
it. Yeah.
They have to have the brick all the way through, on both sides, inside and outside.
I don't know about the inside, outside
Because
for
then-
sure.
Yeah, sometimes they have that.
Then do you paint it?
It can be painted. Normally I don't because concrete has to breathe. So
Right.
it's normally done in a light gray. So it just, and I've got to plant bushes in front of it. I mean, the woman's got a green thumb.
And usually the first owners do, but not everybody does. Some people come and take all the bushes out and then we see them exposed. So we just have to be careful that, and this is right on Ravenna Road. It's a highly visible lot. It's not treed and.
Well, there's kind of an apartment complex or of some sort next to it. And then there's trees adjacent, so they're kind of long.
There's a lot of trees around, if I remember right.
Well, sometimes it's exposed.
It's a beautiful sign.
And I see the door. And the door, the edge of it should have shown up on the right elevation.
Well, it's.
I see that it's
yeah.
kind of obscured. Yeah, the edge of it should have shown up, so we can add that on. Yeah, we'll note that there's a door to
The
the back
building
porch.
department
that
apparently
should
has
be
seen
on.
it and they don't think
Yeah.
it's just a door. It's gonna be.
No, that's
but
a
it's-
nice,
That's a beautiful layout.
I've seen it inside
I don't know, I mean, I've seen it before, but I've seen it.
I like cross ventilation.
you know,
I mean, you got 3 months and you need air conditioning. I think
what are the notes? The,
Not yet.
I think that's good. It really is a pretty house.
Trying to get to it.
I don't do a lot of work here. Most of it's, I think I live in Auburn,
section.
but yeah, this is electrical systems. Thank you for getting this to us.
Yeah.
At least to give you some
So,
idea
and they can
how
do-
it's laid out.
It's a beautiful design, I think. This is the door she's concerned about. The woman wants a small office with just a little desk and a light window.
So that's a door instead of a window there?
No, that's a window.
Yeah, that's what.
That's her office. She's gonna have her desk. That way it's not in the bedroom and it's not in the living room. Small dining space next to double doors. Nice porch cover. And, oh yeah, her swing. I put that on for her. It's not, it's right across. The building department doesn't care. They're really happy to see her swing.
Oh, yeah. Well, you have a chance to reinforce it, yeah.
She wants to swing that way. Facing, not facing the street.
That's what she wants.
Yeah. When you're framing it, you can.
Unless, we wanted to look at.
Well, I think it's gonna be a hip roof, so they're gonna come in with a diagonal and they'll catch that and then they'll catch whatever rafter they have to do and double it.
I think we can consider.
It's hard to put them in after the house, so.
That's why we have it for.
That's what I was getting at.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, people ask me to do that.
You're a builder.
Good.
Table it for a minute.
Would you like to table this to text them for colors? Do you want to send them a message or call them about colors?
I don't wanna table it because it's an hour and a half drive for me to come.
No, I meant just for long enough for you to make contact about
I
colors.
have a way of contacting them. I don't own a cell phone.
You can give us some colors.
I'm just giving you the.
Okay, you are the applicant, and if you'd like to propose colors, we can,
And then they can come in. and
they can
adjust
come
it.
in and change their colors if they so choose.
But I think they're
Okay.
thinking blue and a dark green roof with we'll call it a white.
Okay.
And then we'll do
You getting those notes?
Yeah.
Because you have to write those down.
Yep.
Yes, they can send us to the building
Doing
department.
okay, so.
I think the building department's already seen it, and they've approved it as far as I understand. They're waiting for,
We approve it.
they're waiting for a survey. That's right, they're photographic. That's where the mayor's going. We didn't know this topographic requirement, so we didn't know. So that's what they're waiting for.
Okay.
And you,
All right, will you please list the colors? You can read them off of the sheet, whichever
Sure.
ones you choose, and they will be part of the
absolutely.
design presented.
Yep. The siding is going to be harbor blue,
Take those back.
and the shingles are going to be a charcoal.
That's like a certainty, or, yeah?
It looks like it's a metal roof, so it's a charcoal
Oh,
mid-part metal.
wait a minute, do we have, is this a metal roof, not a asphalt shingle roof?
Well, it looks like they're choosing,
The drawings have asphalt shingle, we don't,
it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
we've had discussions about different qualities of metal roofs.
All right, then we're gonna go with charcoal shingles. That's
Okay.
what it's called for, right now,
Yeah.
charcoal shingles, and if they have an issue, they can address it.
Thank
And,
you.
know,
And weight trim.
And wait.
And front door color, sorry, no, I understand, and I wanted to get you through this and get you out, so, the door is, the front door, I can't tell if it's glass or solid, is it painted? I know that they could eventually change out their front door, but upon original construction, we do approve that as part of it.
Okay.
Is it a solid 6-panel door with side lights?
Yes,
Okay,
it's a solid 6-pound road signs. Yeah,
Painted.
I leave it vague, because if I put something, then they say, well, I don't like that, so a little bit small. So it'll be a 6-pound door with side
a
lights.
solid 6-panel door with side lights, and the color on the door,
I'm gonna guess they're gonna do it red because they're Christian,
okay,
so mark it a red door.
it's not
Please.
objectionable. I'd like to make a, but
No, I was wondering about the column, because you were saying they might be.
They'd be kind of a chocolate brown.
chocolate brown wrapped columns and white trim, and then the concrete to grade is proposed to be stamped.
It'll be, how
Brick
do they call it?
texture?
Bricks molded or poured in place brick?
Poured in
look?
place, brick
Look.
molded,
Brick form.
brick formed.
Brick formed. I don't build, I just design.
And the color on that, will it be painted or will it be stained?
No, it's just going to be a regular gray, I think, at this point, regular concrete gray.
How do we feel about plain concrete?
It's hard to slip an arrow over top of that, though, or any kind of brick over it. Well, it's
That would be
already- it
integral
is
with the
stamped.
entire foundation.
Those forms are usually the same inside and out. They're just gonna look like cement bricks.
Yeah, if it's painted, it's going to flake off.
Right, that's my wonder about.
And that's why I
right.
don't want to paint it,
But
because
then staining is expensive, and that's a lot of
You know, a
foundation.
lot of times they arch the concrete.
This will have the bricks
Kind of
stay away
like
from
stucco.
I don't think they would do that on that. It sticks up just as far as a regular brick.
Are you okay with that?
And then it's just by itself up on the,
yeah, there's nothing else around it.
You'll see
And
it
it's
in
sitting
the
off
front of the
road.
garage,
yeah.
because you can't
I mean,
plant
I
that.
see it a lot. I see it a lot. I don't prefer it, but it's a way of not putting brick on it.
To be perfectly honest, I think part of it is economics.
Yeah.
You know, we have to look at these people as they're retirees. And, you know, they're building a beautiful house in an area where the house was a disaster and it's gone.
No, I know, this is a great.
And so they're
improvement to the-
improving it,
It is.
and, you know, they're on a budget.
Yeah.
So I kind of hold to serving the community, but I serve my client too.
So,
This is very comfortable.
Most of it doesn't bother me except right at the garage.
yeah.
That's how I'm feeling. I keep looking at the garage thinking, can the siding should be able to come down to the, within 2 inches or 3 inches of the ground, shouldn't it?
No. Code requires 8 inches.
8 inches?
Yeah, and you won't see that much if it's only 8 inches.
You're not going to see it. You're going to drive in, you're not going to look at the siding. You're going to look at the body of the house and those decorative lines and the way that roof over the garage captures it. And you're going to see that porch and the swing. You're not going to notice concrete across. If it was painted red or purple, then you'd see it.
Okay. You're showing 1'4" on the front of the garage. Can we bring that down to 8 inches?
That's going to change their grade a lot, and that's going to put...
Just on the front and, I'm trying to see how it wraps.
Well, that's going to require that we have different form heights, and I'm trying to stay economic with them.
I was just thinking of pulling the siding down over it.
That's not something we routinely do.
Okay.
You could do that in the field and see how close.
I promise you, Mr. Byler is a perfectionist, and the Vassars are going to ask him to do a great job. We've worked together for 15 years. Maybe you've seen, it's on the corner of Pettibone and Liberty. There's a porch that went on the house. It's a Caribbean style. That's Byler's, and that's my design. So if you've seen on the corner of Pettibone and Liberty, major corner, that house has gotten more
They
attention.
built a corner porch on there.
Yep. I got a picture of it, but I don't want to bore you. And these people are waiting.
Came a long way.
Northeast side?
You'll know it when you see it. It's a
dark
wrap
wood.
around.
It's dark wood?
No, it's beautiful.
Sun is-
Here.
Okay. That's all right. We
have
can
the
move on.
big planters, the big
Oh.
planters. Yeah, it was an Amish crew built the porch. It's on building.
Here. We'll get out of here.
Yeah.
It's on-
I know which house that is.
Yeah.
Yes, they put up unusual Halloween decorations.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah.
She decorates that way.
Yeah. So
Okay.
It's kind of fun to see.
so we do nice work, and it's just,
I don't know how you want to do the motion. It must be noted.
Were you writing the colors down as you
Yes.
stated?
Mm-hmm.
So that's part of their design submittal. Did you write down the door?
Red. Yep.
That it's 6-panel
Mhm.
door with side
With
lights?
side lights, yep.
On the rear, but it shows up on the right elevation, that there's a door out onto the rear porch.
Yes, I do have
It
that.
shows up on the plans, it wasn't on the elevation, it's partially obscured by the right side of the building.
Okay.
So, but that should be included. Yeah, it's fine. We have the wraps.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that seemed like it was of concern to us is the stamped concrete. So I'm going to make the motion that we approve the drawings as noted. And, which you just confirmed that you have recorded. So I guess that's the motion. We just went over the notes. It was the doors, the colors, the columns,
The
the
si-
trimmer on the front doors,
Si-
match the windows.
Yes,
Yeah.
siding, shingles, trim, the front door with the solid 6-panel door with side lights.
And the trim to match
Red.
windows, sorry on that. The trim on that's to match the windows. We said that earlier, much earlier on. So add that to the motion.
Okay.
And the columns will have sleeves.
Yes, the columns are wrapped in a dark chocolate.
Yes.
Asphalt roof.
That's on the drawing.
Mhm.
He chose charcoal color.
Okay, I'll second the motion.
We'll call for a vote.
Okay.
So I go first
who's-
because I made the motion.
Okay, who seconded?
John.
Okay. All right, Ms. Frazier,
Yes.
Mr. Midlick,
Yes.
Mr. Markovitz,
Yes.
Mr. Sharma?
Yes.
Okay.
So you've been approved, as we discussed.
thank you so much. Can you ask me to copy the minutes and notes we sent to my email, so I have those for record?
They'll be posted on the, online, on mytwinsburg.com.
As an applicant, I believe he'll get a email correspondence as well.
I have your email, so I can get it.
Okay.
I want to thank you very much, and the audience too, for bearing with me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Okay, we're moving on to our third case, which is case 230310. It is at 10735 Ravenna Road. It's the Harmony Social Signage. It's a resubmittal.
And I said trifecta in that for this case.
Okay.
It is the second resubmittal.
Third, I think.
No, the first time was approved,
Yeah, right.
but was not constructed.
Okay.
The second time was brought in for a permit, and we did not approve it. And they are now here today with a third design seeking approval.
Yes.
Okay.
You did make.
So, right, the bar and lounge is no longer the dominant feature on the sign. When I saw it, it looked like a double take, like I read it twice, Harmony Social, and then Harmony Social, bar and lounge. To me, it looks a little odd. It bothers me that the raceway up above is left there exposed, and the sign raceway is not being used. I think I'm not positive on this, but I think originally somebody put up a temporary sign on this brick with a canvas banner or something announcing that they were opening, and then their sign went up, and then the next sign, and it seems like that raceway up above has been sitting there empty this whole time. And so, I don't know, the duplicate sign right below an empty raceway bothers me. I don't know. I know we approved that first sign that came through, but I don't think that this one's that great looking. I don't know. Anyone else want to talk?
Yeah, it is odd to see a boat at the bottom on one line, like repetitive. It almost would have been better if it was up top.
Yeah, I never was crazy about having a sign down there, because it's different from the others. And it's, just to me, it's odd to put a sign on a wall back, underneath
Mm-hmm.
the walkway.
And it treats this tenant differently.
So
Yeah.
I never understood why they wanted it down there. I know I think that.
The idea was that they were covering up the old sign. Well, first I think it was just a vinyl face change on something, and then I think they were covering up the old sign. That's why I feel like there's like a history of how it got here. I don't think we ever really.
Business in there before had a sign on that wall.
Something, was it
Rush hour.
Yeah, Rush Hour was
Is there
there.
a sign there? Is that what?
I think this is specifically what Sam is referring to when he said it doesn't look like standard across.
We encountered this issue, I'm trying to think if it was around September last year,
Yeah.
when it was Wish Salon came through. And they wanted their sign on the brick wall, not on the raceway. We had a lot of discussion. 2 of us voted no, 3 people voted yes, so it was passed and it's put up. And you can't see their sign when you drive into the Giant Eagle Plaza because it's obscured by the overhang of Giant Eagle. And it just looks odd. But everybody else has theirs on the sign panel, and they've got theirs on the wall, way up high. But this one's down lower, closer to the door, but I can say this is better than the one that was here last time, but I still don't like it. So,
Yeah.
The goodwill is in the channel arrows, right? The raceway. Goodwill and the other signs by the raceway, except the channel.
and they put their sign up without a permit, and then came through trying to get forgiveness. That was
We had so many different, we had a sign program on that
Yeah.
plaza for a long time, and it changed.
do we still have a program?
Why
Well,
did it change?
I don't know, well,
Because
I
that's
don't
what Sam
remember
was
it
asking,
changing.
when it changed.
There-
Was-
Yeah, it's been, I don't think it ever officially changed. Somehow we got away from that program, though.
I know it, there.
You
a lot of
remember that, right?
centers- Yeah, a lot of centers, we used to have sign programs on.
Yeah, and they had to sign off
The
on
developer
it.
had it, and they had to sign off if the sign matched their program.
Right.
And we usually had copies of every
Yes.
Yeah, and they had to sign off before you even present this.
Did we ever
That's
get-
Some of the stuff
Did
that
this-
Mayor was talking about.
Did this plaza owner ever sign off on the sign?
We haven't had that. We've changed, there was a lot of things.
I haven't seen any.
I have
It changed after they.
document from the plaza owner.
You have a document from the plaza owner?
Yeah, he emailed it to me. I spoke to him over the weekend because he just wants this settled. And he wanted the sign put over where the rush hour sign was because you would see where the holes were drilled in the brick
Yeah.
from the former sign.
And it saves him having to do brick repair. Although he hasn't repaired the sign band up above.
Yeah.
You know, he's going to have to repair one or the other.
Yeah, I think I would like to have the sign up.
Yeah. And I told, at the last meeting, I turned around in that plaza one day and went, whoa, when did we approve that? Like,
I live across the street. I can throw a rock and hit the sign. It's,
Yeah, it is big.
it is big, so I can see, Goodwill, like it's all in a raceway. I would like to see this up there too. I know we kind of approved it first time.
and that sign, if they're still within their time frame, could be put up, then that's legal. But I don't know that I want to approve it again. And with this,
So as far as the first permit goes, because I'm new to this, how long is that for if they decide they just want to not move forward with anything, any new designs? Can we go back to the original that was approved?
I believe if you're still within your time frame, I'm not positive what it is. I'm thinking it's something like 6 months, but I'm not positive. You know?
I do not know. I'd have
Okay.
to get back to you.
You will have-
Right. If you're still within your time frame from the original permit, you have the legal right to put that up. But, yeah, if you make changes or ask for a different sign, then we'd have to vote again. And we've been making more considerations.
The size, the colors, it just don't fit well.
Yeah.
I know we kind of approved it the first time, but you guys keep coming back and like you say, better. Like option one is already approved. We go up top of the raceway. just like
Okay.
everybody else,
Okay,
personally.
sure.
Do we want to, do you want to run a vote on this sign to approve it as submitted and see how it runs? We can,
Yep.
I'll make a motion to, no, actually, does somebody else want to? Well, all right, I'll make a motion to approve it as submitted.
I'll second.
Ms. Frazier?
No.
Mr. Sharma?
No.
Mr. Markovitz?
No.
Mr. Midlick?
No.
Okay.
Sorry. I know you.
It's the duplicate Harmony Social, it's the size, it's the blue, it's the empty
No,
raceway
it's
above
fine.
it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, yeah.
That's fine. Okay.
Well, see,
Should we give, like, should we tell her, write something so they
Yeah.
understand?
I think they'll hear in the minutes that what our concerns are. I mean, I just said them all again. It's the duplicate wording again, to me, is throwing me off there. It's the size of it, the blueness, although that was approved once. And the empty raceway above that needs to be repaired and also should be the proper placement for a sign in that location. So, I mean, I think anyone else have other reasons?
No. Who's your sign company? Your fast signs? So don't they help them with some of that as far as, they've done many signs, like how to design it and where to put the signs better?
Well, again, we were just covering over the rush hour sign, so.
Yeah, I think
where
that's
it
how the
started.
history of this started, and then
Yeah.
it looked just like it was a symbol, and now it's getting all this text on it and descriptions, and it's becoming more and more
Yeah.
than it was.
yeah, because rush hour sign was simple white, black, but
And I still think that may have gone up as a temporary sign that they turned into a
Yeah.
permanent sign or something.
I wasn't there.
I don't
so-
know, right, I might be wrong.
Even kind of the aesthetics of how that worked out on this sign with the name on there twice, and then one straight formal, the other curved, with the same name.
Weird.
It just throws you off looking
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Are we all good to move on to the next case?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so our fourth case tonight is case number 230311. It is 8592 Darrow Road. It's the Crown Hill Cemetery, a niche columbarium for cremations. Do we have a representative tonight?
They are unable to make it, so can we table this one for another time? Unless you guys
Yes.
want to,
I think that this one's complex enough. It's not a quick, simple sign. I think it's complex enough. It would be nice to have a presentation from their
Right.
representative.
Yes.
Okay. So I will make a motion to table that case until a representative is available.
I'll second. So we need to hang on to these drawings.
Ms. Frazier,
Yes.
Mr. Markovitz,
Yes.
Mr. Midlick,
Yes.
Mr. Sharma.
Yes.
Our fifth case tonight is case 230312. It is at 2700 East Aurora Road. It's the University Hospital Urgent Care Building, alterations and signage.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
Okay.
All right, go ahead and tell us about your project.
Okay, so,
You're currently occupying the space.
They have signed the lease. They are not
Okay.
currently occupying it. It is vacant, but it is obviously an urgent care. They're looking to take the space, and then they want to do a somewhat extensive renovation to the exterior, and then the entire interior will be completely redone as well. But they're trying to add a tower element to the front to make it more, they want it to be able to pop, because obviously that specific center is kind of inset from the street and surrounded by shopping and stores and a bank. So that is their goal.
Did you provide a site plan?
No, we don't have a site plan for that particular building.
Because we don't have this building in relation to its entire building. Like, we only have a portion of the building. We don't have a plan of the entire building to see how this relates to the rest of the building.
Okay.
We don't have a site plan that shows the approach and how it relates to the street or any parking or driving or anything like that. We have kind of the building in a vacuum, or partial building in a vacuum.
What's there right now?
Right now, it's vacant. But I mean, I really feel that we need to have a plan, a site plan for this, and I believe
Yeah,
that's
I
a
agree.
qualification for
Yeah.
approval. Where can I go with it before that? I mean, I don't see how we could approve it without a site plan. I really feel that that's a requirement for us to approve
Yeah.
a commercial building without having seen its site plan.
Okay.
Is this going behind the PNC Bank?
Yes, it's actually, if you're looking at that shopping center, the square shopping center now, the one that's kind of recessed in there.
T-Mobile.
Yes, it's the only section of the building that has the green canopy. We are taking that corner. More or less, we're diagonally behind Starbucks.
Right, and that's what I'm thinking, because this is, do we have, we don't have any, oh, we do have renderings here. Because it's white and bright, which is good for visibility. I just worry a little bit about it, you know, you want it to stand out, but in a good way. So I like the cleanness.
But that whole space is vacant now?
Yes, that
Whole
corner.
building? No more tenants in there at all?
No, no, well, not the whole building still has people in it, but just that corner is vacant, yes.
So
Sweet.
you're not gonna take over that ballroom area?
The ballroom.
There's the go. There's T-Mobile.
That's
store.
gone now.
Yeah.
That Stars Ballroom is gone.
So what's there?
And the hot sauna place?
We are
There's a hot-
between the, there's like a kung fu, like a children's kung fu or a children's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and then T-Mobile is the other side of us.
And T-Mobile's still there?
Yes.
Right, and this had the chippy block, or the chippy stone that was put onto the base of it.
Yes.
It's nice to see that this will be replacing some of that.
Yeah. Now, you work for UH?
No, I'm the architect.
This is where the green awning thing is sticking out?
Yes.
That's a corner.
I'm concerned that there's absolutely no landscaping being proposed.
There's no, because it's pavement right to the door. There's no landscaping in that center.
Right. Being able to being able to design in some planters or something that would give some greenery to this area would be helpful. Possibly, and I can see where that bike is on all your renderings.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there could be a way to involve some landscaping in that area, some sort of planter box.
Yeah.
To get some greenery up near the building. It looks, it's beautiful, but it looks a little harsh.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is no landscaping around that building.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is
And the
none whatsoever.
pavement right now in this rendering looks clean and beautiful. I don't know how the pavement is looking right now. I mean, that's not you.
It's
but-
actually, I think the lot was just done and repainted.
Was it?
so,
Okay.
Yeah, the lot's brand new.
Because, right, this is going to look so clean and new, it may make everything around it look old and dated. But, I mean, how do you get clean and new without some of that? But,
That's not their problem.
right, no, I know. I would recommend finding a way while you're doing this renovation to involve some greenery up near the building.
Yeah, that's not
You're
an issue.
going to be, I mean, are you cutting and putting a new concrete outside?
No, everything, the only part that we would be cutting is for a new exterior column to hold the new tower,
Okay.
because the existing won't do.
What's the
Okay.
square foot of this building?
I want to say it's roughly 3,800 square feet, 38 to 4,000 square feet.
I'm surprised it's that small.
Maybe you could talk to the owner and get
So
some
they're
extra
occupying-
work to.
Right.
Left side, but if you're looking at,
Houses that big.
I'm sorry?
Maybe you could talk to the owner to continue your theme around the rest of the building.
Yeah, actually, we could do that.
To see what he thinks about it, because it could use several help.
I think he tried with the stone, didn't work.
The stone did not work.
No. It looks-
And I don't think they ever came in for that. I think it just started here. The stone, it wasn't the right stone. And it wasn't applied properly. But, yeah.
Happy to remove it.
I would, right, I would propose that some sort of planting is incorporated into this design while you're doing this construction.
Okay.
To bring some greenery up near the building.
Mhm.
I think that'll help soften it. And we need to have a site plan. I believe that it is, I mean, I know it is because I looked it up today. It's a requirement that our board receives a plan. And we didn't receive one with this, so it bothers me to approve it without that. There's one funny thing, it keeps showing up in these renderings, and I'm looking, trying to figure out what it is. This area right here, there's a break in the coping, and you see these vertical elements, and I don't understand, what is that going on there?
They're existing, I believe they're the columns for the building itself, or they're just decorative triangular bump outs that exist on the building itself.
Oh, and so you're not coping over the tops of them?
I think, actually, I believe that's a graphical error.
Okay, so you would be?
Yes.
Okay, because they looked a little funny to me. So there would
Yeah.
be a black coping to match the rest on
Yes.
the top of that? Okay.
So is this like a preliminary or
Well, the brand actually did approve this, and so did the client, so.
did
And structural has started and has based it on this.
yeah, did planning?
We have some, I'm trying to remember. We did submit the plannings, right?
Usually they have the, yeah.
Yes. Yes, we did.
Passed it, okay.
Oh, no, it's not passed, but it's been submitted.
Okay, you also said "and signage" on your application. Are we including the university hospitals and urgent care signage in this?
I don't remember.
I
doing so.
believe they are submitting a separate application for that.
Yeah, that's a third party.
Yes.
Okay, because there wasn't much detail on the signage. I can see where it is It looks appropriate on your renderings. I don't think we can approve it without an actual, there's nothing about the height of the letters. all of that.
I do actually have,
Oh, do you?
yes, if that actually does help a lot. So this is from November. I only have a few copies.
All right, so we've got A371 here. So, proposed location signage, third-party vendor.
Yeah, and then this is the package. based
Oh,
upon-
and there's the package. This is significantly larger than what was on the renderings in the drawings.
But if they're planning on making it separate, so you have to wait till they actually formally.
It is on the agenda as urgent care building alterations and signage. So officially, I think that we can't. I think the signage is too large. I like the imagery of it, but it's increased significantly from what was, I don't want you to get in trouble for what you had on these drawings. It looked much better on your renderings and your drawings. Now, when you fill the entire width of the building, I think it looks a little bit large and intense at night.
Okay.
I'd want to see it brought back down in size, probably 20 to 25% reduction in size.
Okay.
Something like that, to be more in line with what you had on the drawing. I think the drawing looks a little bigger than the rendering, but, no, I think
Yeah,
so. Would you agree to reduce the size?
I'd be okay with it at the size it is. I think it's almost important to see it. You know,
Oh, sorry, I.
See that as an urgent care. So
There's a couple pages there that show different sizes.
I would be okay if you kept it, but I know what you're saying too. But I think it's nice to be able to see that though.
I think it's
They were
very
worried
intense.
because it's so set back far from the street.
Yeah, so you did that on purpose, that size, so
Yes.
people would see it. And at nighttime it lights up with the UH look.
Correct.
You check to make sure this.
I'd have to be
you know, the
further
size
convinced
of the
before I would
sign.
go on that size sign.
Yes, the third party, they make sure it sits within the city's applicable code.
Yeah. It's very, I mean, it takes up the entire face of the building.
Yeah, this almost goes to the end.
Yeah, but there's no space for either end.
About 15. I see.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't, okay.
What about 15%?
They can
It is-
re-render it and present it when they come back with the site plan.
That makes sense.
Okay, I'm going to make a motion to table the building and is waiting for the site plan, which is a requirement to see the board, and revise and resubmit on the sign with a reduction in size.
Okay.
I said 20% reduction, you said 15% reduction.
15 to 20.
Something in that range, something that brings it down a little bit in scale so that it gives it some more room to breathe on the building. It looks like it's really pushing the limits of how big a sign could be on a building.
Okay.
I
They did-
understand you want visibility.
They did sign off, you said, planning?
It's in review, but obviously in order for them to approve it.
Who passed it without it being signed off?
We don't have a site plan, which is a
No, I'm
requirement.
saying,
I
no,
know.
I'm not trying to pass it
Oh,
today. I meant, we have to have that first one. Planning, right?
No. We can always make it contingent upon approval.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So my motion was to table the building and revise and resubmit the sign. I'll ask for a second.
I'll second.
Ms. Frazier?
Yes.
Mr. Markovitz?
Yes.
Mr. Midlick?
Yes,
Mr. Sharma?
Yes.
Thank you. I think it looks really good, and I think it'll be a great asset for our community.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you afterward. I'll talk to you afterward.
You want your, this one back?
Yeah, that wasn't.
That wasn't part of it, sorry. Okay.
Where's the other one? Do you have it, Jen?
Oh.
Well, technically, we did consider it. We should keep a copy of it. Okay. Guess who's up? No, it's not you yet. Okay, we're going to, our sixth case tonight is case 230313. It is at 10683 Ravenna Road. It is just-in-time staffing signage.
Hello, my name is Ben Geschke with the company A Sign Above. I'm here for just-in-time staffing signage above their exterior building. A little breakdown of their signage. I know you have the packets in front of you, but it is a PVC rail, 3 different slats that are going to be mounted to the wall, and then carved into that are the Sintra, the half-inch Sintra letters that are mounted to the slats.
How is this sign in area with the other sign that's already on this wall of the building?
The nail salon sign?
Yes.
It is slightly smaller.
The two signs together, how are they with the area coverage for the, you calculate the area of the wall and then you get a certain amount of signage for that. Have you
Okay.
calculated if we're within the allowable amount, including the nail salon sign that's already on the wall?
Yes, I believe so, yes.
It wasn't flagged as that, but I questioned, when I read on here that the wall was 155 inches, I went, well, only the portion of the wall where the sign is being proposed
Correct,
is
yes.
155. The actual face of the building is much larger, and there's another sign that exists that would count against signage.
Okay.
And I didn't know if it had been calculated that way. We don't have anything that says anything about area of coverage on this, and because it's an oddly shaped building, it's not easy to quickly calculate.
Yeah, I'd also kind of like to see, in the image of the sign on the face of the wall,
Okay.
scaled properly.
Okay.
and Really see how it fits.
If this is 155 inches, and your sign is 9 feet, that means you have about 23 and a half inches on each side,
Correct.
which, it's a pretty big sign.
Yeah. Yeah, I think in total is 18 square feet, 2 feet tall, yeah, by 9 feet wide. And they wanted to mimic one of their other locations in Menor. They have pretty much almost the exact same design, and they just wanted to mimic that
Okay.
for this location here in Twinsburg.
I mean, the sign, the look of the sign itself is okay. I think it's just the sign and the size and placement of how it really fits on the wall is hard
Okay.
It's
for us
an
to
odd
figure
building.
out what it's really going to look like.
Sure.
Yeah, I like the logo, I like the colors. We don't have any information on the actual channel letters, though. Do you know what kind of depth they have to them?
They're half-inch thick.
They're a half-inch thick letter, and
Yeah.
are they lit?
They are not illuminated, no. And the PVC rail behind it that they are getting mounted to is about 1 inch thick.
And that would be painted to match the
Yeah,
wall
the beige color,
to help
yeah.
it disappear.
Correct, yes.
I'm concerned about the size of the sign on that portion of the building. I worry that it competes with the Divana, which has the prominent spot on the building.
Right.
So this should look significantly subsidiary if it's on the side, it's a side wing tenant, but I'd want to see it on an elevation or a rendering to scale.
Okay.
A measured elevation would be appropriate as well. Other comments?
Yeah, you got it figured out.
Any other comments on that? 'Cause making a motion to table for further information
Either that
or revise, resubmit,
either that or just.
or run a vote on it.
Approve it and we turn it down, we turn it down.
Okay.
Revise.
I don't know which is the best formal way to do it.
Yeah.
You want to make a motion?
No, but if we're doing it this way, I'll make a motion to approve it as submitted.
I'll second.
You second? Okay.
Uh,
Mr. Markovitz?
No,
Mr. Sharma?
Nope.
Mr. Midlick?
No.
Ms. Frazier?
No.
Do you have a size recommendation for where it's going? Because I know you said you don't want it to be nearly as big as the Davini's Nail and Spa Salon. Would you want it to be less than 15 square feet in total?
Seeing the size of the window below it, I think that it could be larger than the window.
Okay.
But I think it needs to stay in from the sides of the building, probably by 3 to 4 feet, not quite 2 foot.
Okay. 3 to 4 feet on each side, you said?
That's my approximation, but I think that your designer should look at how it relates to the Divana sign.
Okay.
And make sure that it is definitely smaller, more specific, because having multiple signs, because now we're just waiting for the next tenant on the other side to add their sign, and then we've got signs all over the face of this, and I have concerns about that. So
Sure.
it would be actually nice to have a plan of this plaza to see where these tenants are. Because as different people divide up and put up their signs, we don't have a raceway, and now we're just putting signs on the face of the building. So,
Program in this
that's
building.
what I think would look funny with this, is like how high do you put it?
right.
I'm sure you're probably gonna center it over that window.
Correct, yeah. And there was an existing sign there about, I want to say 8 months ago, before they
Okay.
moved out. I'm not too sure what sign it was, but there are holes in the brick where we were going to install our sign.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, so,
Okay.
yeah, so we look forward to seeing a sign that's either on an elevation, a measured to scale elevation.
Okay.
Or a nice rendering that shows us the size with, to scale with the building behind it.
Okay.
Reduction in size. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, I appreciate it.
So there was a program on this building too, but again, it's been so outdated, probably. Building, like, tenants changed a lot.
We used to receive the building department used to provide the program for the plazas before we saw the cases. So,
I remember years back, we used to help some
Develop.
centers.
Yeah, right, we worked this on, right? So, but I mean, whether or not there's still documents on this.
oh, the documents have to be here. Okay. We are going to move on to the next case. It is the last case tonight, and it is case 230314. It is at 2026 Summit Commerce Park. It is Intralock signage.
Getting good at this. Yeah. None of it's your fault, and I know it.
All right, Kristen entering here for Fast Signs Twinsburg for interlocks.
I like the sign. And I think it has nice color. It has an interesting logo graphic to it.
That's a wall sign.
I don't often see signs with the trademark logo, but that's interesting to see. So we have a wall sign on the building. It's clearly dimensioned on your drawings. It's rendered approximately to scale on the building. I don't think that there's any question about the placement, the location.
They're also proposing some monument signs and other signs as well.
Yes.
Yeah, there's several signs.
Yep, we have non-illuminated, prefabricated aluminum channels. We have the PMS color. It looks like red. Okay. And then, yes, we have a monument sign, double-sided. translucent graphics and internally illuminated, so that means it's going to glow in white and red, and the two colors will both light up. Okay.
The only question I had on that's the monument sign is the size of the address.
Yes.
It looks pretty small down there at the bottom.
Yeah, usually,
Put a bigger address up.
I wouldn't even mind seeing that, the logo itself get bigger, the sign itself get, like, not the letters.
Interlock itself.
Interlock, that could be a little bit bigger too.
I would have to double check because sometimes with these companies, they have, their brand standards have to have a certain amount of space around the logo. So I just have to look and make sure that we can make that bigger, but we can make it bigger.
Yeah, that way the address can be bigger too, in contrast with it, both can scale.
If I scaled up the address because it's so
Probably won't
long,
fit.
What size what height of those letters would you put the address?
I believe they're 2 inches.
Is it necessary to actually say Summit Commerce Park on it?
That was going to be my question to you.
Because I don't think to us it has to be there. It's usually just a street address. Hopefully
Okay.
people are on the right street when they get there.
So just the
But, you know, I mean,
2026.
We don't have any requirements for having to have the street name.
Just-
right, we always have the sign, wait, and I'm trying to think if they're 3 or 4 inches.
Or
4 on this, because it's industrial. Okay. Would it look odd if it's just Intralux 2026? Because I kind of liked having the address. You could move the 2026 above it and just increase the size of the, do you know what I mean? So it's centered above it, the 2026 at the 4-inch, and then underneath Summit Commerce Park.
Okay.
I think that would be nice.
Yeah.
They could also be left justified or right justified to align with Intralux if you prefer. And that would look fine too.
Yeah.
Okay, those are good comments on that sign. We do also have some truck signs in here, wayfinding signs. All trucks use this entrance. The arrows are assumed to be pointing the correct directions on the front and rear too. Oh, we do actually even have the site plan for it, so. Check.
Yeah, my concern with that when I was looking at them earlier is the size. 48-inch square is a pretty big sign. That first one was right there kind of in front of the street.
Talk about the-
It'd be real dominant sitting there.
the no truck sign?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I
actually,
think because of the area, I wouldn't care about that too much. It might be more important that they can see it, but I'm okay either way then. Do you think it was too big, is your guess?
I think I'm with David, I think it's too big.
Yeah.
If we're gonna start doing big signs like that, I would have big signs.
Yeah, that's very industrial back there, right? But there's nothing here.
Every,
Right.
I would say half that size.
yeah, it's like, but that's a street that comes right, CVS is right on the corner.
You do understand
Oh, is it?
What sign?
Well,
That's big.
CVS is on
That's too
the
small.
corner.
What the-
Truck driving sign.
Opposite side.
East side.
You said how you
This
see
street
it,
that is
but
going to go
driving
down
a truck, you can't see
towards
it.
west.
Yeah,
Sign.
right, right.
What's small?
I mean, I would say 30% reduction. How about that?
You're saying if it was a 3-foot sign, it wouldn't bother you so much?
Yeah, just a little bit smaller, that's just, yeah, a little bit smaller. 3 would be fine.
There is code that says what the maximum size is for wayfinding signs. Hard to keep all those codes. I have all the building codes in here too.
I do not. I would have to get back to you guys.
I think that we have to make any approval on it contingent that the size is verified to be within the allowable.
Even if it's out.
Yeah, if 48 is allowable, it's still
30.
maybe allowable, shouldn't be that big. But that's not up to us,
Okay.
I guess, to really dictate.
Fine.
You can make that motion.
Yeah, right.
We should go back. I think we should make 3 motions. I think we can package the truck signs all together. I think that the monument sign is a one, and I think that the first motion should be for the building sign.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, I'll move on the monument side.
No,
Can I
the
make-
building sign.
Can
It's
I-
the first in the packet. Start with that one, the wall sign.
Yes, I'll move on that one.
Thank you.
Can I make a motion?
I'm listening to three different things
Okay.
at one time.
John's starting the building sign.
Okay,
That's-
go.
I got the
Okay.
building sign right.
So you're making a motion to approve it as submitted?
Yes,
Okay.
I will second that.
All right, Mr. Midlick,
yes.
Mr. Sharma,
Yes.
Ms. Frazier,
Yes.
Mr. Markovitz.
Yes.
And
Okay, the second sign is interlocks. We discussed increasing the size of the numerals to 4 inches and putting them above Summit Commerce Park, probably centered, recentering the text. Not objection to it being left justified or right justified either.
won't mind the interlock get bigger as well. It can be.
Okay.
Won't mind that either.
By about how much?
Still leave like some space, I would say.
It shouldn't be too much, because you still want enough
Yeah.
white on the side.
You're talking like 5 or 10% bigger, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll move on that as noted.
I'll second.
Do you have the notes on that?
Increase size to 4 inches.
Of the address numerals.
Right. Yeah, I was getting there.
Okay.
Increase size to 4 inches for the address numerals, and you guys want that above the interlocks, right?
No,
Was it
above Summit
Oh, okay.
Commerce Park.
So the
Yeah.
numerical portion of the address above Summit Commerce.
Can it, I guess it doesn't matter whether it's below interlock or above interlock, but
I like it down at the bottom.
probably would,
Yeah.
yeah. Like it.
Okay.
And then the option to increase the size of interlocks about 5 or 10%, bump it up a bit, if they so choose. Okay, John made the motion.
Right. Right.
John, you're good with the motion?
Yeah, I'm good with it,
Okay.
yes.
Mr. Midlick,
Yes.
Mr. Markovitz,
Yes.
Mr. Sharma,
Yes.
Ms. Frazier.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we have the truck signage, which we are assuming was proposed within the allowable limits, though there's some concern that the signs might be too large.
There's a lot of them.
A proposal to reduce them to about 3 feet has been voiced.
Well, there's actually only 2 signs like that, right? Yeah. But they each have 2 sides to them. And both of them are placed up near the street, where the entrances are from each drive from one side of the building.
We would like it smaller. Is that your-
Yes.
Yeah, that's what, I would, I mean, I don't know how to say that, because if the code says they can do 48, can we vote against what the code says and we don't like it?
Yeah,
Yes.
we're, yeah, as long as
So
we're.
then what I would say
pretty
is
clear.
maybe make a motion to drop the size of the 2 signs down to 36 inches square from the 48 inches square.
I will second that.
And then we can vote on that, yes or no, and then, I guess if there's issues, y'all can come back.
That's what my thought was, if there's an issue with visibility, that it'd be nice to have more imagery or comparables on the street that shows that this is.
Well, yeah.
Did you notice any other truck signs on the street?
There's a few, and they're all different sizes. Some are small and some are large, so.
See, and I think that, again, I'm not speaking for the mayor, but I've noticed that around the town, there's not a lot of consistency
How?
between a lot of the signage everywhere. You know, and
Yeah.
that could be things that bothers him, you got one this size, one that size, and they're sort of the same kind of signage, through that area.
I've been seeing a
But I
lot
don't
of.
know, I don't know what his whole word or what he was trying to get at, for sure.
Okay, did you make the motion you were making?
Mhm.
Completed that motion?
Yeah, you did.
And we have a second on it?
Mr. Sharma second.
Mr. Shermer seconded. Is there any further discussion for the 3-foot size sign? Instead of the 4-foot as proposed?
It is a big drop, but I'm fine with it.
Okay, we'll run a vote.
Mr. Markovitz?
3'6". Yeah,
Mr. Marcus?
Mr. Bar,
I'll say yes.
Mr. Sharma?
Yes.
Mr. Midlick?
Yes.
Ms. Frazier?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon, right?
Do I have to come back for the 3-foot signs? Do I have to resubmit that, or as long as we make them
No,
3?
As long as you construct them as 3 feet.
Okay, great.
Yes, it's the same image, you just shrink it down.
Okay.
If they are objectionable to 3-foot signs and 4-foot is allowed within the code, they should come back and see us with some additional imagery to reassure us that it would be appropriate.
Samples of
Yeah.
the area.
Right.
So who's actually designing, like, the placement of the signs? This is all on the owner, or is this the sign company, or?
Yeah, so the owner came up from Maryland, and we did a site survey, and he basically just said where he wanted the signs, and then he sent us their brand standards that actually had these sizes, so.
That's their company brand.
But he,
So this is like a chain, or?
yes.
So everything's becoming like speakeasy and social and these bars now? Is that supposed to be like a special kind of bar?
Oh, are you talking about Harmony Social?
Yeah.
Oh,
We're
no.
talking about something else.
I thought you were talking about Interlux.
Okay.
Where are you, John? You're going to far.
She's been here 3 times with 3 different signs.
Okay, right. All right.
I know that they deal in plastics, so they bought the Walton Plastics building, and I know that some of the equipment is staying. They manufacture what looks similar to cutting boards for restaurants, but I don't know exactly, so.
Well, it'll be interesting to look them up someday. Thank you.
Thank you.
I was more worried about coming back and having to read.
I know, I
find
feel,
that sign
I
again.
understand that, yes. Okay, next on our agenda, we have, is there anything else that you're staying for, just,
Yeah, I had a quick question for you.
okay, we're gonna, we'll do a work session. I'll add a work session in here after the approval of these minutes, because that's usually where the work session goes, at the end here. So we'll do the approval of minutes from February 16th. They came in our packets. Does anyone have comments?
I don't.
Nope.
I'll approve them.
I'll make a motion. I'll second. I'll second.
You gotta be faster.
We're not used to these meetings that take an hour and a half.
Okay, we'll call.
Ready to go home?
Mr.
Go ahead, call for a vote.
Yes.
Mr. Midlick?
Yes.
Mr. Sharma?
Yes.
Mr. Markovitz?
Yes.
Ms. Frazier?
Yes. Okay. So we're adding in a work session here, so you can approach if you have something else you'd like to say.
My apologies for holding you guys a little bit longer.
You're right.
But our graphic designer did provide me a rendering, and I failed to attach it to the signed permit application. But I wanted to just give you a quick
Okay.
glimpse of what it did look like. So here's what it looked like above the window. And it doesn't have it next to the Davini sign. I know she's.
That is much smaller than what was proposed, because just based on the number of inches and feet that we had, you had a 9-foot sign,
Yeah.
and that is much smaller. I'd like to see it with the other sign. I don't know if it should be up, if it should be down a little bit.
Okay.
This is a picture. Is that who you zoomed in?
Yeah, I took a photo from my car right here just at the window, and then she put her design of it right above the window.
Yeah. I don't think.
She didn't just do that during the last case, did she?
No, I promise.
She's skilled.
Yeah,
Okay.
certainly very skilled. You could do that.
Right, no, that sign in that image is significantly smaller than what you proposed.
Okay, so just resubmitting it with this size.
Right, and then you're going to need an elevation of the building that shows the relation, right,
Okay.
that shows where you are in relation to the other
Okay.
signs, so that way the board can really see what that elevation looks like.
Gotcha. Thank you so much. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
I've been
Thank
to
you.
it, I know what you're going through.
Mhm.
If you move too quick or bend wrong or something, it's a pain to do.
Okay, also here, I wanted to let the board know that new candidates were accepted and appointed to this board. I wasn't notified until I called the city this afternoon at 3 o'clock and found out that, that they just I hadn't received an email from them. So I am not reappointed to the board, although I did apply. There will be 2 new people, but David, congratulations, you'll be continuing on. And, yeah, I wanted to thank everybody for my time on this board.
I wanted to say, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
I think you've done a great job.
You're as good as anyone we've ever had.
I'm upset that you're not,
Yeah, that
didn't get in there and continue.
I wanted to thank you too for the time that I had with you. I found you very
Thank you. Yeah, I would say, 96% of the time I've been on this board has been a really great experience. There've been a couple challenging cases, and there's been some administrative challenges, but otherwise, I really feel that we operated well together as a board, and yeah, did our best.
There's a lot of knowledge on this board and experience, and you're very diversified.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of good members over the years, but I didn't know that you weren't reappointed.
Right, I watched the video of the council meeting as well.
You're almost irreplaceable to me, to be honest with you.
Thank you. Before I go, I do want to hand off a few issues that are out there that I know of. Going straight and say we want her back.
Very disappointing. I've been here many years, and we've had great, you're very thorough, and that's where you're supposed to be, and very knowledgeable. I've been in construction since 15, I'm already 64. And, yeah,
I believe I was a strong candidate, but I think that they were looking for change.
yeah. And
So.
So it'll affect me when my time comes up, whether or not I'm
Next
gonna
year.
write it out. Yeah, because it's important to have good people. I don't know what they expect. I kind of speak the language of the customer, because I know that, because I have many of them. I worked commercial for many years on buildings that won awards, and I've been looking at prints since I was that age, so I know nothing about construction. And, yeah, so this is disappointing to me. Sorry to hear that.
And we don't know the names of the other 2, but one of
Um,
them.
That could be on the record, too.
The names, as I was told, were Valerie Wales and Gerson Katra. So I don't have any acquaintance with either of them, so I did look them up. They are not registered architects. I went that far. I checked with the Ohio Architects Registration Board, and they're not listed as architects. And while I was looking at all of that, this all started, I went to the gym to work off some steam, and I ran into someone who asked me about, are you a photographer? I'm like, no, I'm an architect. And they're like, oh, I wanted to be an architect. I'm not good at math. How many times have you heard that? She asked what it takes to become an architect, and then I told her about how you practice in Ohio, if you're licensed in Ohio, and I was thinking about it, and it came back to the fact that you're licensed in Louisiana, David?
Yeah.
And so I...
National, I've got in-car van, Louisiana.
Right. So I looked into some code of this because I feel professionally obligated to do so. And according to the Ohio Revised Code, Title 47, Chapter 4703, that you have to be a licensed architect in Ohio to be referred to as architect legally. You are definitely an architect. You're an architect emeritus in Louisiana. And, right, and you have full knowledge of an architect. But according to what I've been reading, legally, it seems that this board has to have an architect on it. And according to Ohio Section 4703.18, you're prohibited to practice without a certificate and may not hold forth as an architect or registered architect. And the term consultant may be used if qualified for such professional service in your own state or country. But I worry that it could be a legal issue going forward, as long as there's an architect on the board, and if you're working with one, you're allowed to use the title of architect, but I have the utmost respect for you, but this came up and I had the professional obligation to delve into it. I checked the Louisiana Administrative Code, section 1539. It says that you need to use the title architect emeritus if you are, right, and your license is now architect emeritus. And then section 1105C says that emeritus cannot receive compensation as an architect. So if you're being paid to be on the board and you're serving as the architect of the board, first of all, Ohio doesn't recognize that as an architect, and Louisiana would then not recognize you as emeritus.
I'm being paid the same as any other member, so.
You are, as long as you are on the board as a board member, but if you take the position as architect of the board and you're the only architect on the board, I think that causes some legal issues.
So does there even have to be an architect on the board?
There does, according to,
One has to be here.
it does, it says chapter 1321 of the codified ordinances. And I do have a copy because I have all this stuff printed, I just grabbed my whole bag of stuff.
Well, I know one thing too, the big problem is, I think it's, well, I don't know what the price is now, it's probably $300-400, I can get an Ohio license, that's all I need to do to get the money. Because my national accreditation,
As long as you've kept NCARB active, yes.
Yeah, and
If you let NCARB go, I think it's like another 500 to reinstate NCARB,
yeah.
which is what I've done, taking the risk that I'm not moving out of Ohio in the next 5 years. But,
I've kept my NCARB active. I keep wondering whether I should have, but I kept it active the whole time I was up here, because I figured that I got to that point where I didn't need an Ohio license to do what I was doing, because I was practicing under another person's name
Right.
who was a licensed architect in Ohio doing all that good stuff. Pretty much doing all the stamping and drawing.
I did the same thing
And,
as well
So
for a
it
long
didn't
time.
matter, and so I just kept my, well, it's not worth getting paid the money for a license just to say I have it.
Right.
And, but if I needed it, I always told myself if I needed it for something down the road, then I'd get it.
Right. The other option in the ordinance is that the mayor, through a professional services contract, can hire an architect. And then the architect would not be one of the 5 voting members because the 5 voting members are already appointed. And then they would just need to attend the meetings and
Well,
you
didn't
would
they,
vote on your own chair and it wouldn't be that.
didn't y'all go through that already? Didn't y'all, I guess you put an ad out for an architect for the city, but
I
then
have
you
that.
decided not to do it or something? Is
That's
that-
not being pursued at this time.
Yeah. Tom was the only one I knew that was a full-time architect, retained by the city. Contrabandia.
I have that here too, if we need it, I can dig it out here, but, oh, it's right here. May 14th, we were notified that the city was going to post a position for a city architect, help with code enforcement and reach, as well as help prepare the board for future ARB meetings. The advertisement was supposed to be posted that week. I never saw an advertisement for it, so I don't know that ever happened, but the city must have changed its mind. I don't know who the city is, but that was.
I think it was probably, it might have been Ted. Ted left
Soon after.
shortly thereafter.
That was one of his last things he stated.
If,
I'm not sure, this is my,
well, if an architect position comes up, I'd be interested to know what the application process and approval process is for that to occur, and how that works with the timeline of,
I know how it worked for Tom. He was on the retainer, and then he got paid for hourly charges and anything he had to do. And it was, fair wage, maybe $100 an hour at the time. Be much more than that now, I'm sure. But that's going back 20 plus years. I've only had in that whole time over 25 years of this. I've only had 3 chairmen. It just like
we'll have a fourth
you're
coming
making-
up. So, no, I'm sorry for delving into that, but once the thought crossed my mind, I felt I had the professional obligation to look it up as the chair of this board and leaving the board, knowing that it's going to be in good hands and in legal operation.
Yeah, that should be stuff that I guess council should know, because they're the
Council-
ones who vote on the board members.
Council should have looked into that prior to this. I shouldn't be the one bringing it up. I'm not legal counsel.
I'm pretty sure they buy council.
He is an architect. Technically, he is an architect emeritus in Louisiana.
I mean, I went through the school, I have the licensing, you know, through, every state has their own submittal for licensing, but I also got nationally accredited, which means that probably 46 of the states, I can get a license just by, you know, filling out an application, sending them the money, and then they'll approve it, send it through. The other states, you have to take some other testing. Florida and California and Oregon and Washington, all, because of earthquake and hurricane, you gotta do some, you know, take some other classes and then get tested that you have the knowledge to design for a hurricane or earthquake before you can get a license in those states. But you can, you know, if y'all need me to come in to a council meeting one time and talk about my accreditations. And the
Well, I'm gonna have to
board.
talk with the legal counsel.
And I did state those sections to make it easier for
I wrote
you
it.
to, for you.
4703, 118.
That one
Ohio
is
section.
Ohio Revised Code, right? That whole 4703 is helpful. And then Louisiana, it's Louisiana Administrative Code Section 1105C and 1539. So just to be clear, because Ohio also has an emeritus architect, but they're slightly different. Ohio, you only have to be an architect for 10 years and over 65. In Louisiana, you have to be an architect for 30 years and over 65 in order to qualify. So that's impressive. So,
Since,
81.
when I got- Few years back.
I noted it was 81 because I'm like, that's, I was born. No, I'm saying how much knowledge you have. You've been an architect since before I was even born. So, right, but I just know that there could be a legal issue there, that Ohio is very specific as to how they define architect and what the requirements are. And if this is an Ohio-governed board, which I believe it has to be, we're a city in Ohio, then we need to follow Ohio's laws.
We sort all these things out before the next meeting, so.
Yes, I'm gonna talk to the lawyer, yeah.
Last meeting.
Right.
Well, we might have
I know.
to, yeah.
I had some thoughts of
Avoid the
whether
next
I had to
meeting.
wait until
Because-
people were sworn in before I
Yeah.
said
Yeah,
anything.
next meeting, not only we're gonna have a swear in, we're gonna have to pick a chairperson
Correct.
and, you know,
Mhm.
And I was gonna volunteer, I think you wanted to be it too, so you had to fight that.
no, I mean, I was like, I was gonna say like,
I can't sit if I can't be the chairperson. because-
I was only suggesting that each year we pick somebody else.
Well, I wanted
But
to
I'm-
mention-
I'm fine with David, like,
I,
got my vote.
I mean, I don't get a vote, but David, I probably would vote for you because you'd be the architect.
I'm
you know?
fine with the co-chair or secretary, whatever you call it.
Yes.
The chairperson should always be
Right.
an architect.
And we are supposed to have a secretary on this board, so that's another position that would be voted on at the next meeting. It would be the chairperson and the secretary. I'd like to remind this board, speaking of chair, that this board has a seat on the CIC that was earned through negotiations with Mayor Prokop when we were negotiating the demolition of the old school. We were brought on particularly to help with the downtown redevelopment. And I wanted to make sure that nobody forgot about that. I know that you've attended a meeting, David? I've attended at least two, I'm trying to remember more, if I've done more than that, but I can picture two different rooms that I was in for CIC meetings. And I know Don Spice attended at least two meetings of the CIC. They should be notifying us when there are meetings that have any, downtown redevelopment on the agenda, anything on the agenda that deals with that. The idea was that we would be brought in early in the process of the design downtown so that we don't just get the plans already completed for us to either approve or reject.
There are no plans right now.
Right, there aren't yet.
It's just land right now.
Yeah, but as that, I know we were brought in with different developers that were being interviewed to see what kind of character they're proposing for the downtown.
Right.
And so the chairman would probably be the contact person for those meetings. And it would be, I believe, up to the chairman to either attend or to designate to appoint someone else to attend. I don't know if you guys would vote on that or if you would just leave it as.
And of course, the
chairman decides.
meetings are open for everyone to attend. If anybody else would like to.
Yeah, but what she's saying, I think that.
You have a voting. Yes, it sounds like you had a seat, therefore voting.
Right. I don't want people to forget that. I know sometimes when you change people out of a board, information's lost. We know the history of the cases that have come through. And when you start with new people, you get fresh ideas, but you also lose the longevity and the information that's been gained. So don't forget about that. And then still outstanding is the Ordinance 84, 2021, which amended Chapter 1321 of the Codified Ordinances. This was the hot ticket sticky issue last spring. This is what brought down the house of cards here. That ordinance states, let me pull that one up. That ordinance states in section 1321.09, recommendations upon building code changes. The board shall consider, the board meaning the Architectural Review Board, that's defined in here as well. The board shall consider all proposals or requests for changes or amendments in this building code, including all components thereof, and make. That's how it's approved. It used to say, and make their recommendations thereof to council. This board was supposed to see and approve any of these proposed changes that were made in 2021 in the fall. We were not given any drafts of the changes that were made. We did not get to voice any opinions, and we have some strong opinions on some of the changes that were made. We voiced those opinions in January after it was adopted.
Who was the council person at the time?
Bill Fury.
And what did he say to that? I mean, did he?
He silenced it. He did what he could to erase it from the meeting minutes that we even brought it up. And the reason I did bring this I obtained legal counsel myself, and then I brought it to the attention of the Twinsburg legal counsel in the summer, what had been going on and our concerns about this. And he stated that it was approved sloppily. There are several typos within this. And the fact that even our recommendation to council was deleted out of the middle of the sentence was concerning and not able to be left as it is. I have not heard back since, and because of the great difficulties I was receiving from council, a certain member of council, Bill Fury, I was told that I was advised that if I didn't let it drop, that I would be removed from my position, and so I have let it drop for a long time. Somebody brought it up on this board, it wasn't me, brought it up on this board a month or so ago, and you looked into what is fishy or what are the loopholes. Their loopholes have to do with that 25%. Anybody can put on a 2-car garage on their house now and not come to this board. All they have to do is get in with the building commissioner. That gives the building commissioner a great amount of power. This board didn't even get a say in these changes being made. Not even a voice. We don't get a vote, but we get a voice, and we did not get that. In the past, we had been approached with any changes, such as signage. The building department or Larry Finch, he's part of the building department, people would bring us the changes being proposed. We'd skim through it, we'd read through it in detail, once or twice, 2 different meetings possibly even, and give them our feedback, and then the changes are made. In this case, we were not consulted at all. It was slipped by us. We didn't know it happened until January when we received a copy of it already having been passed sloppily. And so, you can go through all the details of this. We voiced in those meetings. It's not all recorded in the minutes, but it's on the tapes, which we were told is the true record. What our concerns were at that time. And so I don't want the board to forget that that exists, that this happened. Yeah. And that it's still out there, that it was supposed to be looked into last summer, and we haven't heard back the corrections on it. Sorry, that's a lot of information. I tried to keep it quiet, or tried to keep it limited and not go into every detail of it. But in general, they're adding things like the board shall only consider the exterior design features. Sometimes we need to see the interior to understand how it relates to the exterior. I understand we're not trying to pick apart somebody's kitchen, but you need to know if there's a reason why you can't put a window there is because that's where the refrigerator is. There are reasons why we need to see and consider the interior of the building when designing the exterior of a building or considering the design of the exterior of the building. So that was put in, we would have objected to that. And it's very specific now. I looked today online to see what the requirements are to submit to this board because we had a job that came with a site plan and elevations and no floor plan. And I'm looking going, why is that one window smaller? I'm like, I wonder if there's a kitchen sink there. I don't know, because there's no plan. So I looked to see, I think you're required to have plans. And then it got removed, that they don't have to submit a plan for us. All they have to give us now is the elevations and the site plan, although we are still required for the site plan. That's odd to me. Who changed that? We didn't change that. We didn't vote on that document getting changed. Who did that? And it says 2 times in bold italics letters that we are to only consider the exterior of the buildings. It says it right on the forms now. Who changed that? We didn't. It never came to us. I remember, hold on. It's not. Engineer on board.
DeSillo, Michael.
Thank you. Mike DeSillo was very specific about what was going to be on that form, and we voted on it as a board, and now there's a new form. I don't know when that happened. So there's been a lot of things going on. Oh, and it was also changed in here that the board, in its rules and regulations, yeah, now it used to be the board can do things, and now it says the building department may do things in here. There's just a lot of ways that the board has lost a lot of its power, and this board was created to protect the public, to have 5 members, to require there be at least 1 architect, either as a member or advising the board. Originally, it was an architect advising a board of 5 members. There's been a lot of ways that these changes limited the power of the board, transferred it to the building department and specifically the building commissioner. And that was concerning. We never got to voice any of that. And that is what was not allowed to be in the minutes. That is what we've been silenced on, and that caused a lot of aggravation this spring. And I just wanted to say it one more time. Don't forget it's out there. I don't even know that it was legally passed. The law director was looking into that. So when referring to anything that deals with this board 1321, what's on the website is not what this is. The website still has all the old information before this was passed, and they were waiting for it to be codified. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know all of these legal ramifications. I just know that this seemed like it got slipped by. We didn't get a say in it. It severely limits the power of this board and transfers it to others. So that's where that is. And I didn't want to speak about it before because, like I said, I was informed that if I didn't let the issue drop, I would be removed. So now that I am actually ending my term after this meeting, or on the 31st officially, so if something comes up between now and the 31st, let me know. Although I'm going to check at your recommendation, checking it out for a little bit.
Yeah, why
So
not?
yeah. All right, that's all I have to say tonight. I've got a lot more I could, but I think that's enough. So, thank you. Everyone.
I live in the neighborhood. You could always call.
Thank you.
We were just, Stephen Moreland. Because I meant, you're always trying to raise the bar and make things better. You made it weeks now. I'm at these other boards, and I go to other cities, I know what it's like. And I remember when UH came in and said, you guys got one of the best boards I've ever held. And we got that from the clinic too. And I run into those people, we just be on the job, and they say, you guys were excellent, you had a great board. As good as anyone. See that more. Are we already done today?
Well, I guess if no one has anything else they'd like to add to the work session, we can adjourn.
Always well said as usual.
Thank you.
Thank you for.
It was a pleasure.
everything you do.
It was a great, long chapter. I think it'll be a good mark on my resume.
Yeah.
12 years of service, chair from 2019 to 2023. And it frees me up on Thursday nights
I go to a lot of those.
to coach some soccer or dance or something like that, or work late if I have some good drawings to do. Oh yeah, I'll just come here on Thursday nights and sit out there. If there's an interesting case that I'd like to say something about, I will, but I won't be stalking the drawings or anything. So if there's something interesting that's out there and I hear about it, I might poke around, but for the most part, I think I'll be pursuing some other professional or personal work. There are, but I feel like I have very limited time. I have 3 kids and
I'd say go Twinsburg.
yeah.
One of the girls I coached got into NC, North Carolina, freshman year of her college career, so
Wow.
she's a professional now.
You must be a coach. You want to co-coach with
Her and
her?
her mother and I coach, so, she's like 5'11", so that
Maybe adjourn.
Yes. Okay, I will make a motion to adjourn the meeting. It is 7:50.
I'll second. Then give up.
Ms. Frazier?
Yes.
Mr. Sharma?
Yes.
Mr. Markovitz?
Yes.
Mr. Midlick?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Waits, thank you for
Yeah.
officiating our meeting tonight.